The 2016 presidential election hasn't been without its fair share of scandals, from Hillary Clinton's email fiasco to Donald Trump's taxes.
But perhaps the biggest political scandal took place back in the 1970s with Watergate. One of the Washington Post reporters responsible for uncovering that scandal was in Greenville today, and our Josh Birch sat down with the famous Bob Woodward. Josh.
Well, Ken, while we're not talking about the magnitude of Watergate here, there's certainly political controversy in this election, something Woodward is very familiar with. A packed house at ECU tonight to welcome Pulitzer Prize-winning reporter Bob Woodward, who spoke about his experience with presidents and the work behind the Watergate scandal. Earlier in the day, he sat down with us to discuss the 2016 election.
It's hard to connect the dots, and I think there's a lot of overfeeding going on.
From mudslinging back and forth to questions about the candidate's past, we asked Woodward his take specifically about the lack of transparency from both Hillary Clinton and Donald Trump.
We still want more, and who knows, maybe the emails or the tax returns will pop out of the woodwork. I'm optimistic.
Woodward says what may not be optimistic is the situation whoever wins the election is put into. With clear party divides and a country ripped apart, Clinton or Trump will have their work cut out for them.
It pointed out very privately, people who are close to her, that if she wins, she may be in a weak position. If Trump wins, the question is, does he know what he would do?
Regardless of the outcome, Woodward remains confident in the importance of investigative journalism and the media's role in covering the election fairly. And during tonight's discussion, Woodward talked about his take on both Clinton and Trump through his interviews with them. He says Trump is a Lone Ranger candidate searching to fix things by himself. Clinton is a very strong woman, but sometimes lacks that human connection needed. Josh Birch, 9 on your side.